Right into the nose and belly of that Ocello. Can't stand up to that for long. To the bitter end's gonna live up to its name. Die violently here before too long. Oh no, and a beam right in the middle of the vessel. Hello, and welcome to Salar. Team 1 AS, Team 2 OSP, 3K, 5v5, Duke Stars, Highball, Internet Explorer, Kelmia, and 6-Stack Vault on Team 1. Lobster, Goodnut, Cellohubris, Vryn, and Sunflower Girl on Team 2. And it's a spread way out. They got a little bit of everything, going a little bit of everywhere. Looks like OSP is concentrating more around, well, they're pretty spread out too, except for going to the Echo Point. They're kind of abandoning pushing that Echo Point, taking Delta in force with Vryn, and Cellohubris going up to Delta. Got a handful of vessels going down to Bravo. Even got some ships gonna side up on Alpha. We're dropping down here with, I think, OSP? Yeah. Monitor Blob! Get in the monitor, Shinji. Yeah, that's a good idea for the newer player. Here with Sunflower, a ton of vessels in this game. Oh my god. Oh, okay, let's start going through these. We've got the classical monitor blob, C90 T30s, C90 plasmas, 250. Oh, I think this is Garnet. I think this is Garnet or something very similar to it. We've got Vryn in a Porficello, Aurora's Interrupter, Bullseye, Floodlights for anti-jam capabilities. Probably gonna have a Parallax Radar in there. He's also got a Plasma Bulk Freighter, Valor our Shield with a Fat Yard and a Boosty, and one Capping Gun Shuttle. Good Nuts also rocking the Monitor Blob with what? Sky. 5 of them, half 250s, half C90s in the nose. Some plasma and some T30s. Also Blackjack. Lobster's got another Ocello. With 450s, Aurora's, Bullseyes, Floodlight. Yeah, pretty similar to Vryn's Ocello, just the kind of the classic fleet support vessel. And a Mass Driver Bulk Freighter with some decoy containers on the backside, supported by a couple of gun shuttles. So Hubris looks to be rocking the cap fleet over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multi-mission tugs. 1, 2, 3, 4 gun shuttles. Very simple. And see what's fleet. We can hop over here, visit Kalmia, who seems to be doing on Cap Gaming's shenanigans. 2 VLS2 Sprinters, Pinards on them. Oh, these might be bombers, actually. Yeah, these got hybrids. 1 Goalie Beam Destroyer, the Cringe Kidder, and the Crumwax with Spyglass Frigate. And 1, 2. Oh man, what is this? Okay, so we've got 2 torpedo gun sprinters, 2 basically naked camping sprinters, and then 2 bombers for cutting out OSP's eyes, I would guess. Looks like Duke of Stars, oh, it's doing something very similar. 2 bombers, 1 Pinard, 2 Torp gun sprinters. Oh, these are hybrid, half torps. And people are really cringing down the missiles. 2 gun sprinters, just pure gun sprinters, double Mark 62s. You don't see those very often. And 2 basically naked sprinters with no damage control in them. Oh boy, that's a one-way trip. Highball, double Axfords. 450s on the front, interruption in the back on one, soft kill in the back on the other. It's got sidearms as well, a lot of sidearms, man. These things are meant to get in there and mix it up with the small vessels. S2's out on the lower side of the map. Gonna just miss. I'm not sure what these are fired at. Home on jam active. Probably the sprinter would have managed to just right under him. Internet Explorer has 2 gun voxels. One E-War sprinter escorting them, and 1 nearly naked Viacom beam destroyer. Stack pulse, rocking double Axfords. Oh yeah, this is the same build we saw last time. Hopefully their internet doesn't go out again and they get booted. 250s on top, beam on the bottom, only 1 FPA. It's a frontline build, but I don't know about that one, Chief. Whereas 2 is being dumped out onto the Bravo point. It seems like ANS is able to handle them for the most part with just flying away. Incredible. Yeah, jamming doing a pretty good job here. Ooh, one of those jam sprinters eating a couple those HOJ missiles. Nobody able to grab the middle point yet. Both teams have their traditional natural points. Even the Delta and Bravo are kind of not really naturals. They also kind of are. It's a little complicated on this map. It's like ANS is focusing on the Bravo Alpha line with their combat vessels. And OSP is doing basically the same thing. With their double monitor bombs. One's headed down to Bravo, one's pushed up and is trying to cover both. Monitor is going to wreck absolute hell on those sprinters with the bomb whenever they get in range and can deliver that device. Early cap where scuffling's kind of tapering off here. It's like ANS not too keen to try and push that Delta point, though they are keeping presence over on this side of the map just in case. Their big S2 volley out on one of the Spry Frigs. No, not the Grumwax. Amins handling them quite effectively, leaving 1 missile. Spy Frigs don't have that much health though, so 1 missile might be all it takes. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not gonna die, but really want to be taking as little damage as possible on those things. Have the survivability of the average wet sheet of paper. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with here. More of those At-Command S2s out and getting jammed. I'm getting, yeah, the HOJ is getting lured by jamming coming from behind a rock or just behind the edge of the rock. So nothing doing. ANS has a really good position on the alpha point. They might actually be able to pull off the capture here. Even with the monitors and the S2s flying in, yeah, the monitors are now included, and there's the A point. Giving ANS, okay, we have the points value set to 1250, but that's still not a ton. OSP will eventually have to get something done, especially with those big old monitor blobs hanging out where they are. They really got good strike capability onto Bravo or onto Alpha, but they don't really have the small ship assets to do that. They got a bunch of MMTs. Those are currently engaging the Vision ships, and it looks like they're also getting missiled. In return, some hybrids out on the MMTs. AMMs clean them up, but these ships do not have an infinite supply of those. Actually, these are ACT AMMs, so they might have an infinite supply of those. Those are dirt cheap. That's, what is that, $2? $2 for an AMM?
Yeah, 2-point AMM for the actives.
T's up on top of the map, spotting huge portion of this fleet.
Oh, there we go. The MMTs on the are finishing off the spy frig with guns.
More bombs out on the multi-mission tugs. Looks like they are out of AMMs though. But they have possibly jammed the firing vessel at any point during that firing cycle. That'll cause command to lose the track, and they cannot get it back when the track is restored.
They lost sight of the MMT.
Brand's heading on to the Alpha Point with one of the shuttles, which is currently covered by a beam destroyer, or actually the beam X-rays and a beam destroyer. Yeah, there it goes. Shuttle down very quickly. Keeping the Alpha Point firmly in ANS's hands. Those monitors might be able to fly in there, but that's a lot of beams pointed in one direction. Those beam X-rays are in a really good position to support that beam destroyer. And the 250s plus the beams, I mean, this is like 4,500 points worth of death here. And then also all the voxels and the other two Axfords are over here too. This Alpha Point isn't going into OSP's hands anytime soon. They really need to spread out and start going elsewhere. Not even sending anything down to challenge the Echo Point, kind of hurting them right now. Friend's able to cover Delta with his Plasma Bulker, but that's really not what you want to be fighting small ships with. I mean, it'll win. It'll win the fight. It's got two T-30s, and Plasmas do decent damage against small vessels. But that's an asset that you really need for killing capitals, because those C90 T-30 monitors are not going to be able to do that job. These have, yeah, these have plasma, but I think the other ones didn't. No, the other pack was Garnet, so they do too. It was the last game that the monitors did not have plasma in them. Not this game. Silly me, silly me. These monitors are in not really a good position. They either need to dive onto the Bravo point or go somewhere else so that they can exert more pressure on the map. With, looks like Goodness monitors are also coming down here, so we have 6,000 points worth of combat ships concentrated down here on the Bravo point, which they do not control. One of those MMTs really needs to dive onto that cap point instead of chasing the bombers. I don't think that's going to happen. Got more command missiles in, but the jammer does prevent the firing ship from seeing the MMT. They lock at the last second, and it gets killed anyways. Maybe command missiles can reacquire after being fired. So I definitely did not see a detected emblem on the HUD there. Oh, man.
He got locked on by a bullseye, so the command missiles found our mark.
Yes, but that was after those ships had lost vision of it to begin.
They can reacquire if you do regain vision of the ship via bullseye or radar or chronosphere. Or even E-links, although E-links might not be accurate. That would be a difficult challenge.
Good to know. I've been under the impression for a long time that command missiles, if they lose a track, they just go dead and they can never ever reacquire it. Learn something new every day. Mass drivers engaging the voxels, which are now headed up to the Delta point. OSP really can't afford to lose this point. And that Plasma Bulker is not going to be able to handle double voxels, especially if they have missile backpacks, which they don't. Okay. Just the 250 then. And it looks like one of our spectators has gotten blocked. If someone else would start streaming, continually getting pinged in the main chat. I'm gonna have to disable my streamer mode so Mazer can answer my foolish mistakes. Command missile search for a replacement track every frame, as long as the track number is the same. You can even burn repeatedly, and the missile will readjust to the new position each time. From the Dev Man, thank you for correcting my confusion. Damn, that's really strong.
Yeah, it makes sense.
No, it does make sense. I just thought
From before.
that they couldn't reconnect because, I don't know, the game was poorly made, but obviously that's not the case. Foolish. Monitor's still hanging out down around Bravo and not capturing the point. They are flying in, and they're flying in extremely slowly. I think these are in relative formation, so they are hardly maneuvering. Corbeau has taken over the streaming. Thank you, Corbeau. You can drag out my Discord off my main monitor so I can see it while we're doing this. Alright, that's what I usually do, but man, I've hardly done anything Nebulous related since the tail end of the tournament, so my habits do be not working. Missile out on another pair of the multi-mission tugs. Yeah, eating it right in the drive. Oh boy, OSP being kind of turned around every angle. They have the ships down on Bravo to take the Bravo point. They're just not doing it. Vessels are going unbelievably slow. Alright, the burning screen now eating 6,000 points worth of monitors to the face. Plasma, C90, and 100mm.
Yeah, I don't think that Axford was expecting two monitor fleets to be right next to each other.
Certainly not.
The enemy is securing Zone Atlas.
First volley of 100mm isn't really doing anything. It needs a little bit of time for this plasma to add up. The ship's throwing it in reverse. Yeah, second volley though, that's getting work done. Especially all the rounds that are landing right in the middle of that nose. Throwing those thrusters, making it very difficult for this to back up. Beam goes down. The rest of the internals and the guns are going to go down shortly too. Missiles coming in support. Some more of these command bomb missiles. In lands too. Wow. I figured that the AMMs would be enough, but no dice. Right in the middle ship taking a little bit more damage. OSP might back off of this Bravo point. They really can't afford to do that. I gotta take this. This is where all their ships are. If they don't control the point where all their combat ships are, then why are their combat ships here? Burning screen now, taking more fire. It looks like the rest of ANS is rotating over here to respond, which might open up Alpha for the MMTs to dive in and grab it, but there is a beam destroyer just waiting, scoped in, ready to blast that middle point.
Yeah, Alpha is definitely a no-go because ANS is really well entrenched down that canyon.
Voxel's sliding over to the Bravo point as well. The Ocello managing, and perhaps Plasma Volker too, managing to zone them out of the Delta point. Plasma Volker is now engaged. Yeah, just annihilates this poor sprinter. I think the MDs probably had something to do with that as well. Throngler is getting thronglered, yes. Those are words in the English lexicon. I think we're gonna have to get Neb speak registered as an official English dialect. These monitors, yeah, down on the Bravo points, they were so slow in getting here, have granted ANS plenty of time to get into position to cover the points. They are going to get the capture off finally, but they're going to eat way more damage than they really need to. The middle ship, part of this control group, a ton of fire. Yeah, these got to be flying in rail with how they're moving around. Gotta be. We're pushing up over the top with the Ocello, trying to engage those voxels. Voxels are staying out of that fight. OSP up on caps now with that Bravo cap, but they're going to need to hold it, which I'm not sure how much longer they can do that with all of ANS rotating down here. And just one monitor blob down here now, which is pretty powerful, but can't stand up to 5 Axfords, 4 Axfords? I don't know, a lot of ships. The other monitor blob has rotated away from the Bravo point, is shooting it echo a little bit, but there's not that much here. Oh no. We're detecting, yeah, the see it my way. She's gone nuclear, Captain! And the DC teams have not been tasked to take care of that, so I do think with the work speed down from the ammo leak and the fire, that Overlord's gonna go off. Once these monitors lose their armor, the 120 sidearm experts are going to tear them to shreds. Yeah, these ships continuing to be unbelievably slow because they're trapped in relative formation. Going like half the speed they really need to. Although, maybe not. This is a default drive. These aren't Sunbricks. What? Yeah, these are all default drives.
They'll probably make decent distance from the balloon.
Thanks for getting that angle on those monitors. Really punishing them. And even if they don't get bloomed, they're going to be horribly beaten down from this engagement. Far enough away. Yeah, it's going off in 18 seconds, so the leading monitor is going to take most of its armor off. And, oh, I see my angle was a little messed up. I think these are just going to be a little bruised from the nuclear blast. Yeah, just lightly crisped. That's not horrible.
Yeah.
The other pack of monitors is moving over to engage the Axfords that are coming around the corner to take down the Axfords, or the monitors that were on the Bravo point. Good little ambush there. Okay, now I'm getting messages from people, so the stream mode needs to go back on. I don't know how to do that. Shit does it automatically. Oh, it's in its own section. Okay, there we go. Cool. Alright, back to the fight. Axfords are leaving the zone of Monitor Doom. OSP has secured one single cap point for all that. They have lost a couple monitors, and in return they've bruised one Axford, so that's not really the best engage. Although this Axford doesn't really have that much left in the way of damage control, so that's good at least. Voxels continue to scuffle with Plasma Bulker, peeking in and out of cover. Plasma Bulker having a way more painful experience in the skirmishing dance than the Voxels are. OSP now down only by about 70 points. They'll be able to close that gap eventually if they can maintain the lead, but they really need to secure, or want to secure, another point, because I don't think they have a super strong hold on Delta. Friends, appropriately named To the Bitter End, is running down the Voxels to engage them at point blank range, which is not gonna go well.
Oh damn, ANS sneaking in a capture on C point.
The enemy is securing zone coming.
SSL is going to suffer immensely to that 250 AP. And the Pie of Arlene here up on the Charlie point. I think it's about to get mass drivered into next century. The mass drivers won't be able to kill it fast enough to prevent the cap, though. Yeah, and they're still firing at their other target, too. So, no, they're not going to get mass driver. There's absolutely nothing to cover that Charlie point. OSP really can't be losing the naturals at this stage of the game. Big mass driver meat shots in on the Voxels, though. Changing the calculus of the... oh, whoops. Of the Acela push. Well, the Acela is getting fired at by the Axford, which changes it yet again in favor of ANS. That's just a points victory right there. That's
The enemy
a ton of 450 and a ton of 250. Right into the nose and belly of that Ocello. Can't stand up to that for long. To the bitter end's gonna live up to its name. Die violently here before too long. Oh no, and a beam right in the middle of the vessel. No battle short, but the bulk magazine does go down. Man, people are really gambling with those bulk mags lately. I've seen a ton of them. They always get knocked out at very important times. B shorts do be going, and the modules do be dying.
I think for Ocellos, you like space in a magazine is a premium, so like it's understandable to go with both mags because you can't carry much in the reinforced ones. You might run out.
Monitor shaping up to pounce onto the alpha point. I think the edit has moved away, well, not too far, to engage that Ocello. Cocky Angel, now that's a good ship name, is about to get ruined by C90 and T30s. Absolutely ruined. And it secures that Charlie Point capture. I still think nothing is shot at this yet at all. The Pie of Arlene still undetected. Okay, there it is. It's shown up on the detection radar. Is going to be able to just fly right on up to the mass driver bulk fighter and enable whatever to shoot at it. Oh, it's in fact shooting at it with its two 120 pop guns, which will eventually kill the ship, especially if they keep landing on the mass driver compartments.
The enemy is securing zone tag.
Oh boy. That's not good. OSP's lost control of Delta as well, with the Ocello going down to the beams, being pushed away, and the Plasma Bulk Freighter trying to engage. The Axford Vauxhall Wombo combo and also getting sent away. Yeah, those monitors really need to be where they can fight. Having a capping 3K blob is not... It's not it, especially when it's going really slow. NNTs do manage to halt that Delta capture. Secure it. Refusing the flank person. And yes, this is the Meaty Monitor Gambit declined maneuver from ANS here. The monitors are on the alpha point, but the Axfords just keep rotating. They're always on the move. They're always where they need to be. Extremely well played positional warfare here out of Highball and out of Six Stack Fault as well. I gotta take a look at Highball's builds. Double Raiders, single whip. Nice. Yeah, he's just able to float around and be basically as agile as Voxels, according to the quick maths in Balcon, which is pretty funny to me. With significantly more firepower. OSP steadily losing control of that Delta point. The Ocello taking more and more damage from the beams. Probably going to go nuclear here before too long. Valar shield flying around the Delta point, trying to stay out of the beam fire and out of the voxel fire. Keep that Delta point for as long as it possibly can. OSP now down 100 points. Oh boy. Monitor's now getting zoned out by the massive weight of firepower coming out of those Axfords, and I don't think the Mins have a decent enough track on these to fire back. I can't see track quality, which is unfortunate. But I'm guessing, based on the range brackets that we're working in, and the fact that there's no LRT cone pointed at these, and there's no locking emblem on these, the track quality out of the OSP radars is not good enough to enable the C90 in fucking. Alright, and some of these have 250 as well on the plasma. In fact, I think they're out of plasma range. Yeah, they're out of plasma range, so the monitors are entirely unable to engage those Axfords. So they only got 2 C90 barrels, and everything else is 100, 250, and plasma. Friend's gonna slowly get camped here and murdered. Oh, there goes a fuel line fire. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful.
The enemy is securing zone.
So, in a couple of videos, we've seen that fuel line fires sometimes weirdly don't damage ships. That is apparently a bug that got introduced at some point. I don't know when. But that has been fixed, as we see there, from this to the bitter end getting absolutely obliterated from the fuel line fire. Not that it had that much left to be obliterated, but what was left in the midline of the ship is dead. Still alive thanks to reinforced CIC offset, though, which is pretty funny. Duke of Tears using the mass driver monitor. Or mass driver, what is it, bulk freighter, as cover, trying to survive as long as it can against the gun shuttle, and just delve onto the Delta Point and try to capture it. Or the Charlie Point and try to capture it. Meanwhile, ANS has dived onto Delta with a Sprinter and is trying to capture that. And I think the MMTs are going to kill this. C-30 very good. Oh yeah, these have C-30s and T-20s. Okay, so that's interesting. Ah, these are meant to fly as a pair. These are not 2 MMTs that are also flying together. These are a pair of MMTs. They've only got 1 mount spent on the pinpoint and the other with a gun. Missile's gonna miss though. Kind of strange. Don't see that very often on those Act Command D-fighters. Oh, one set going for the voxels. Yeah, that didn't last very long. Search is able to repair itself quite a lot in the interim between the death of Testulous. Rest of this game, and apparently, here we go. Valor, our shield, was deleted, removed from existence by that beam destroyer. Nicodramus. And don't really see OSP winning from here. Yep. Yeah, there it goes. OSP thrown in the tail. That's the ball game. Get into this after action report here in just a second. Yeah, really not able to get into a good position to get anything done, unfortunately. This monitor is very dangerous. Couldn't find the right target.
We were fine until we lost, like, the left side came apart. It was like, we had a bunch of assets tied up on that right side.
Sorry about that. I could not hold that off, and I overextended slightly. I thought you guys were pushing hard. I thought you guys were pushing, so I thought I could play a little long.
Recap.
No,
Yeah.
We thought, like, we really didn't think we could dig your obelisk and your Acelo out. We were kind of hoping to be able to break the monitor ball, and we saw you overextended. That was what gave us our opening.
Yeah.
Those voxels were giving me hell, and so I thought I could take them out. I could like punch them out quickly, like force with lobster, mass driver support. Didn't expect a beam. It was like because at that point we seen almost everything, and
No, we saw not even close. I don't think the whole team at that point.
Yeah, the thing is, if the voxels tried to come around on you, the mass driver was right there.
Yeah, you had run a great spot on D.
Maybe I should have played the cello over there instead. I wasn't doing a whole lot of work on B because I was trying to cover the monitors for missiles. but those angles just don't work very well for a
Once we
Salar.
had B, for a while it was our match to lose.
No, good. No, I was really worried you were going to just throw your monitor ball A, because we would not have been able to retake it if you did.
You would have.
You have beam
Towards
axes,
the end of the
right?
game. I mean, 2 gun Axfords. You had a beam destroyer and a beam Axford. You're wiping the floor with me and capping it immediately.
This is true.
So
Yeah, because we were thinking that we were until like B took B, and even then we're like sort of. I thought I was under the impression our position was pretty precarious even after we took B.
no, it was solid.
Ah,
The worst thing that happens is they push you off D, but the only way they do that is if they shift up Axfords to do it, and then I just mirror the Axfords.
I wasn't so that's.
Communication good.
I didn't know. I had no idea he had pushed up until he said, "Oh, I found a beam destroyer."
Oh,
So
damn.
we're playing center, right? By playing center, right? And so I thought I was like playing center. I could like had a little more leeway. And at this point, I'm like, if we've seen a beam destroyer, I would have seen it anyway. At this point, because of like, well, we've been
You
ripping
haven't
all the
seen-
printers apart.
They're half of that side of the map we had not really seen.
Also, make sure you're ready up, everyone.
Alright, that's basically everything important out of that match. I hope you enjoyed it. As we learned in that game, communication good. It's very important to tell your people where you're going if you're doing something kind of aggressive. Anyways, that's not a big deal for you. If you want to sit and listen to all the conversation we have, we're probably going to talk for another like 10-15 minutes while we get the next game set up, then come on down to the Coliseum Discord. I've got a link to that Discord down in the description. And I've got a Patreon too that supports me in my community management efforts here. Although, more importantly, is your time. I have got to thank all the people. I've been getting steadily more and more and more busy in my own life in the accursed meat space over the past several months. And I've had a lot of people step up in the Coliseum and help manage games and run things. So big thank you to Vastal, to Poppy, to Hunter, to Three Cats, to Xenophon, and I'm sure there are other people just putting games together. I know Vren puts games together from time to time, even though he has no special fancy title or specific responsibilities. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everyone who enables me to do this. It would be kind of a shit show without you. I'm gonna be real, Chief. Gonna be real. I will see all of you in the battle space. Good night.